Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sean Twombly. I'm the National Office Director. And while I'm not coming live from Washington, D.C., where the Pi Sigma Alpha's national headquarters is located, I am sitting in my lovely basement in Potomac, Maryland. And I'm thrilled to be able to have you join us here today for what will be the charter induction for the Alpha Mu Theta chapter at Taylor University. I'm thrilled to welcome you as the 841st chapter of Pi Sigma Alpha, and I hope that gives you a sense about the scope and the size of this organization and what it is that you're joining. Now, clearly, the pandemic has put a damper on lots of pieces, and I'm thrilled that you're able to be together, which is really special. In a given year, we like to think that Pi Sigma Alpha chapters will be hosting wonderful in-person induction events, perhaps with an outside speaker, perhaps with some refreshments. I myself am a member of Pi Sigma Alpha from my own undergraduate days at Syracuse University, and I like to joke that among the most memorable things of Pi Sigma Alpha for me there was the great spread the department put on for us, which is sort of silly, but it's something I always joke about as would have been a senior at that time. Now, I'm joined here today by Pi Sigma Alpha's president-elect, Professor Diana Owen, who's at Georgetown University. And I'd love to have her say a few words of greeting, and then we'll sort of transition into a little bit of history, and then the induction ritual, and then get to introduce yourselves. Diana?
Great, thank you so much, Sean. And I too am not at Georgetown University because we've been closed the entire time, and I'm in my basement, not too far from Sean, in Chevy Chase, Maryland. So, but I'm very happy and honored to be here, I guess, with you virtually at Taylor University to celebrate your initiation into Pi Sigma Alpha. I'd also like to begin by recognizing Professor Miller, your chapter advisor. This has not been an easy year for anyone, and to be a chapter advisor during COVID and to work with students as, clearly as talented as all of you, and to get you to this moment is really a great tribute to him. So thank you very much, Professor Miller. We are recognizing you today for being among the very best and brightest in your fields. And I would also again like to say that I'm inspired by you for having excelled during this unique period of COVID. You've done well academically, meeting the challenges, and now coming to the point where you're being rewarded as through your induction to Pi Sigma Alpha. And at Pi Sigma Alpha, as I'm sure Sean will tell you in a minute, you're in really good company. We have people who are members of Congress, who've held positions at the State Department, but also have gone on to do many, many, many different things and to make big difference in people's lives. And I'm sure that you, as the next generation of Pi Sigma Alpha initiates, you will go on to lead, to innovate, to teach, or do whatever the world has in store for you. So congratulations and welcome to Pi Sigma Alpha.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Diana. I appreciate that. So you want to learn a little bit more about this organization that you're joining? It's not just the $35 and as a membership certificate that you paid, or the regalia that you'll wear across the commencement stage at some point along the way. It's an organization that its roots run deep in terms of the American polity. Founded in 1920 on the campus at the University of Texas, Austin, the original founders sought to try to find a way to engage their students in a conversation in which they took their theoretical learnings from their coursework and applied it to what it meant to be a citizen in this country. And so they struck out from Austin, that first chapter in 1920, and slowly we've grown into an organization that is recognized on more than 800 campuses around the country. We've inducted more than 300,000 individuals in that time. Curiously, that first group of chapter members is a most astounding one. It was only 13 individuals, 12 men and 1 woman. But from that group would actually come a future US Supreme Court Justice and US Attorney General, a future US Ambassador to a number of South American countries, a future government professor at Harvard, future leader in the US organized labor movement, a number of individuals who became attorneys, and all of them went on to do amazing things. The story that I actually love to tell the most is the story of the one young woman that was inducted that year. Her name was Mary McBride. And while she didn't take any further education, she instead became a school teacher, married, and moved to a small town in Texas called Yoakum. Now, from all the research that we've been able to do, she had as much impact on that small Texas town through her civic and cultural work as a lot of those other individuals did in roles that took them very far from the state of Texas. Even today, her legacy is to be found in a library that's named after her and her husband, scholarships that are named after her at the local high school, and her mark lives today. And I like to share that story because regardless of your own future education or what field that you make your way into, you have an opportunity to take the training that you're receiving at Taylor right now and make a difference in your community, big or small, much as Professor Owen just said. And clearly, as politics has become more partisan, and we've seen sort of how the news swirls around us daily, you have this opportunity to take that training, add to the conversation in positive ways, to think about what role you'll play in your own community to make a difference, and to sort of manage what will become the beginning of a fantastic network of Pi Sigma Alpha there at Taylor. Across the country, there are Pi Sigma Alpha members at every location, and not everyone is going to be a president. Pi Sigma Alpha is honored to have Bill Clinton, who was inducted at Georgetown University, Diana's school, as an undergraduate, multiple Supreme Court justices, dozens of members of Congress, and so on. Not everyone will reach those lofty spots, but your opportunity to make an impact will be awfully great. We actually had a lot of fun doing our centennial year. The pandemic put a bit of a damper on a lot of these pieces, but we learned so much about C. Perry Patterson, who was our founding president and served in the role for nearly 2 decades, set the tone through his personal connections to build Pi Sigma Alpha. We had so much fun digging around that we actually found his original certificate, even though it had a nice tear in it, located in the archives at UT Austin. And you can see there on the right, the first page out of the Cactus Yearbook in 1921, in which Pi Sigma Alpha's first members were listed. So that was sort of fun. And I'd like to think that Dr. Miller will work to make sure that your recognition on campus is equally strong. And that would be a press release issued by the school or something of those sorts to really make a difference. And also keep in mind that that network of 300,000 is available to you through the national office. I hope that you'll give us a follow on social media. You'll make use of us should you need help coming to Washington or any other step along the way, and know that we're here to support you as best we can. But now it's your turn. I want to throw it back local. Let's take it back to Upland. And Professor Miller, why don't you share a little bit about the goals of the department in adding this chapter of Pi Sigma Alpha and introduce us to today's initiates.
Absolutely. So Taylor has this tradition, and I'm sure you've heard these words before, servant leadership, right? But we say it a lot, but we also truly mean it. And the HDPS department has been blessed over the years to be able to have a number of outstanding student leaders come from our department. We've had folks go on to serve in Congress as Supreme Court clerks, as fundraisers and campaign directors for major political campaigns. We've had activists and charity organizers, and all forms of involvement along the political spectrum. We are intensely proud of you folks, intensely proud of our students and the difference that you make. We wanted this organization to be part of Taylor, part of our department, so that we could recognize your success, recognize how outstanding you are, and hopefully recognize that to others as well, that they could see just how special you are to us. And more than that, we also want to help you succeed, not just recognize success, but boost that as well. And the opportunities available through Pi Sigma Alpha are something we are incredibly excited to be able to offer to all of you. So I'm honored to have you folks here today as well. You reflect our institution incredibly well. We're proud of all of you. And I know that our chair, Dr. Johnson, reflects those sentiments as well. So then, shall I start reading off the names?
Absolutely. It sounds like a great plan.
Wonderful. All right. So I'm going to go around the room and deliver certificates as well. One benefit of being in person. But Bryant, Barbara? Rachel Knight. Bailey Miles. Ben Woolridge. Julia Bronze.
It's fantastic. Typically at an induction when we're this sort of, handful of members, I'd love it if each of you of our new inductees just took a minute to introduce yourselves to us. I'd love to learn a bit about what you're studying, where you're from, and maybe a word or two about what you'd like to do next after you leave Taylor.
Brian, we'll start with you. We'll work down.
Yeah, sure. My name is Bryant Barger. I grew up in rural Indiana, about 45 minutes north of campus here. I'm a PPE major with minors in legal studies, biblical studies, and Spanish. And I will be going to IU Mallory this fall for law school.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
My name is Julia Franz. I'm from Mansfield, Ohio. I'm a PPE major, and I'm not completely sure what I'm doing after graduation, but I'm thinking about trying to work in a political nonprofit.
Sounds great.
My name is Benjamin Woolridge. I'm a politics and law major with a history minor. Right now I live in Aurora, Illinois, and I actually plan on working at Hobby Lobby after I graduate.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Rachel Knight. I'm actually a social studies education major, and within that, my concentrations are government and history, which is why I was earlier mentioning the History Society event I have later today. And I'm actually going to be going straight into graduate school, but for library science. I am currently torn between University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign and IU Bloomington. I have 2 weeks left to decide, so hopefully I pick soon.
Wow.
That's great, Rachel. I'm sure you'll make the right choice.
I'm Bailey Miles. I am a junior Spanish education major with a minor in political science. I grew up in Pendleton, Indiana, which is about halfway between Taylor and Indianapolis. So yeah, I'm local to Indiana. And so Spanish education and political science is like my weird combination. I get a lot of questions about it, but I just wanted to study political science a little bit more in depth while an undergraduate student, because I thought it would make me a better person, a better thinker, and a better citizen in our country. And who knows, maybe someday I'll be a politician to represent all of the education issues that we have going on. We'll see.
Certainly.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right, well, why don't we move to the formal induction component, and I'm going to throw it back to Professor Owen to lead us through that. It is participatory again, so Diana, I'll give it back to you.
Thanks so much, Sean. And wow, it was really great to hear what all of you have been doing and your majors and where you're going next. I guess now we'll turn to the formal ritual of induction. So members of Pi Sigma Alpha, candidates for initiation and friends, we are here today for the purpose of initiating new members into Pi Sigma Alpha, the National Political Science Honor Society. The study of politics and government is one of the noblest of academic pursuits because a deep and true understanding of the principles by which we govern ourselves contributes directly to the quality of our lives and the well-being of future generations. You have demonstrated, both by your interest in and commitment to this discipline, and by your high scholastic achievement, that you have the potential to excel as citizens and scholars, and so deserve the honor of membership in Pi Sigma Alpha. With this special honor come the special obligations of leaders to exemplify and safeguard the academic aims of Taylor University, the honesty and integrity of its scholars, and the ideals of your alma mater. You have earned membership in this illustrious society by attaining the highest standards of scholarship not only in the discipline of political science, but in your overall academic work as well, in accordance with the rigorous criteria set forth in the National Constitution of Pi Sigma Alpha, the bylaws of the Alpha Mu Iota chapter, and the strict requirements of the Association of College Honor Societies. I now ask that each of the new inductees say "I do" after I read the following declaration. Do you, our new members, signify your acceptance of and commitment to the ideals of high scholarship, integrity, and citizenship embodied in the goals of your institution and of Pi Sigma Alpha, the National Political Sciences Society?
I do.
Great. Your eligibility for membership in Pi Sigma Alpha has been vouched for by members of the faculty at Taylor University, and so you are duly invited to lifetime membership in both the National Organization of Pi Sigma Alpha and the Alpha Mu Iota chapter. Congratulations.
There you go, Aaron. We're really excited to welcome you as to Pi Sigma Alpha's family, and I'm excited to see what comes next for the chapter. Now, many of you will be graduating this year, and often is the case for Pi Sigma Alpha because of its high academic eligibility requirements. But Professor Miller will learn that there are plenty of opportunities that go along with Pi Sigma Alpha. In some years, he might wish to apply for a chapter activity grant that would fund what I'm sure would be a catered Chick-fil-A lunch for your induction event, seeing how Chick-fil-A is right there for you, or something more special depending on everyone's tastes. But we have resources that are available to you for graduate scholarships, working in Washington internships, or internships for work being in Washington, and any number of other prizes and contests and so on that we do. So really excited to welcome you. And I wanted to leave you with just a little bit about the original purpose of Pi Sigma Alpha and see how it resonates with you. Somewhere along the line during the research, I unearthed the original constitution of Pi Sigma Alpha. It's dated December 1919, right after the idea for this organization was born and before the first class was even inducted. And I wanted to read to you what they laid out the sort of the ideals were for this organization, because I think that it still resonates today. It reads that Pi Sigma Alpha is designed to further the welfare of its individual members, to encourage the scientific and practical study of problems of government, to foster reforms in our government machinery, and to aid in the education of the electorate in problems of government. Now, as you hear those words and you think about your own careers, as we just heard you express, I think each of you, regardless whether it's law school or in library sciences or working on a campaign or anything else, can make a big difference on each of those components. So I leave you with that and think about what role you're going to take, not only for your remaining days there in Upland, but what comes next for you. So that concludes the formal portion of this induction event, our first hybrid national induction event, I'd like to say. So very excited to that. Professor Owen, any parting words on your side?
Well, first, I love Chick-fil-A, so now you've given me my idea for dinner. And again, congratulations. We're really excited to have you join the Pi Sigma Alpha community.
All right, well, with that, we will conclude the formal portion, and thank you for being with us. I do think that we have a lot to look forward to in the months and years ahead, and thank you.